It's another fierce terrorist attack that is underway in Pampore, which is near Srinagar. And first gunshots were heard at 6 a.m. This time the target chosen by the terrorist is EDI Institute, the same institute that was earlier targeted by terrorists in February. That time 3 terrorists were neutralized. This time 2 terrorists are believed to be holed up in the institute. But there is a slight relief because this institute was under renovation, so no civilians or students were present in this institute. My colleague Shuja, who is joining me, he is at the spot. Shuja, not compromising the security details, but can you tell us right now how many terrorists are believed to be holed up in the building, and also give us an idea of the security perimeter that's been thrown around the institute?
Well, Divina, what we are given to understand at this point of time is that there's a suspicion of 2 militants, hiding at this point of time in this building. And as far as the security apparatus is concerned, the army and the Special Operations Group of Jammu and Kashmir police have laid a siege around this building. They are carrying out searches and cordon operation at in and around EDI building. Remember, this is the same building which had been in headlines in February this month after a similar attack took place. Militants, then had first attacked a patrol and then took refuge or were hiding in one of the buildings in this institute. It had taken 3 days for the security forces to complete that operation, with a lot of loss of property and life. Now, from morning, we are not hearing much gunfire here, but we are being told that the searches are being carried out. In a moment from now, there will be room-to-room intervention that will be held in these buildings of the Entrepreneur Development Institute. So far, 1 army jawan has sustained injuries, and the security forces have cordoned this entire building.
All right, Shuja, also give us details of how this institute is very near to the Jammu-Srinagar highway. So that could have been the possible target of the terrorists, which was thwarted by the armed forces this morning.
Well, though the details are not clear at this point of time. What was the motive? What were these militants trying to do? What we've been, told is that this entire thing had started at 6. First, a fire was reported from one of the buildings of EDI. Then, when the security guards tried to move forward, the security forces also reached the spot. Then actually gunshots were heard. It was in the initial phases of the gunfire that one of the army jawans sustained injuries. Ever since then, there has been a constant cordon that is being maintained, and searches are being carried out. As far as the fact that this is a very sensitive location is concerned, yes, it falls bang on the national highway that connects Srinagar with Jammu. In fact, even as we speak, there is a lot of troop movement. Most of it is the convoy, the army convoy that moves from Srinagar to Jammu, and as you can see, a lot of vehicles, particularly the army vehicles, going flying on this road right in front of this EDI building, and that's what makes it very, very very important installation, because the kind of location it has is very important. Like we've seen in the past as well, this building has been the target of militants, because it is situated at a place where they can launch an attack on the patrols, on the convoys, and then quickly hide behind this institute. And like it has been reported in past as well, there the design of this building is such. It is a huge concrete set of buildings that this institute is comprised of. It provides a perfect hiding spot for anyone who wants to hide after carrying out that.
Shuja, on that note, let me go across to Ashraf. Shuja, on that note, let me go across to Ashraf, who sent us this report earlier, just a few kilometers from outside the EDI Institute, where the terror attack has been reported. He sent us this report earlier. Take a look.
This is the Pampore town on Jammu-Srinagar highway, and just here early in the morning today at about 6 a.m. some shots of gunfire were heard on the highway, and then this area has been cordoned off. There are possibilities that probably some militants of the Fidayeen Squad may be hiding, because we have seen just 2 months back there was a massive suicide attack on EDI complex here in Pampore, which continued for 3 days and was a biggest encounters in the Kashmir Valley in recent times. And today once again some exchange of fire was heard early in the morning here. So far there is no fire in the area, but the area has been cordoned off by the security forces, police, army, as well as by the other security agencies. And the massive combing and search operation is still going on in the area. There is not any exchange of fire witnessed so far for last 3 hours, but security agencies believe probably militants are hiding in the area. They had come here for the purpose to target the Srinagar Jammu National Highway, the security forces on this highway. There were the inputs with the security agencies about this possible attack, and that is why these precautions are being taken, and a massive search and combing operation is underway in the area. With cameraman Rauf Ahmed, Ashrafani for India Today in Pampore.
Well, India Today was the first team at the attack site. My colleague Ashraf is joining me now. Ashraf, as you reported earlier that these terrorists came from the Jhelum River. The complex is on the edge of Jhelum River. The target could have been also the Jammu-Srinagar highway, because that's the route which is used by not only army convoy but also transport trucks. So that's an arterial route which the terrorists were planning to target. Give us more details that you're getting.
You can see just we are the only TV channel who are on the spot, and you can see behind me the massive presence of security forces that clearly indicate there is something is there. Basically no one is being allowed towards the original hot spot, that is the EDI building enforcement employment development institute. And you can see, my cameraman can show you that these forces have sealed off the Srinagar Jammu highway, and beyond that point you can see almost 50 hours ahead. That is the EDI complex, a massive complex. You may remember 2-3 months back there was an encounter which so far carried for 3 days, because that was a so huge and heavy structured building. And now today, as per the sources, the militants have taken shelter in another part of the building, and there was a fire inside that part of the building. And still it is not clear whether militants are still there or they have left, but a massive combing and search operation going on. Almost all 5 kilometers of this whole stretch has been cordoned off by the security forces, and they are searching from house to house, home to home in the bushes near the Jhelum River. And interestingly, this complex is just on the edge of the Jhelum River, and we have seen so far as many as attackers including Uri, Baramulla, and today's even this attack has been chosen on the bank of Jhelum River. And probably this is a strategy where the route of Jhelum is being used by the militants to reach to the national highway. There were the intelligence inputs with the security agencies that the militants may target Srinagar Jammu highway. There is much more movement of the security forces on this highway. That is why this was on radar, and probably today they tried to go for attack on the highway. But so far there is no exchange of fire. 3 to 6 gunshots were heard early in the morning at about 6 a.m. That was responded by the alert security forces, who are 24/7 on the deployment of highway. And so far there is no exchange of fire.
Right.
Militants are hiding in the surrounding area, and that is why the massive combing and search operation is
Well,
underway,
you're absolutely right,
currently
Ashraf,
here as
because
we are reporting from the
you're
spot.
absolutely right, Ashraf, because there were intel reports that army convoy movement could be targeted by the terrorists, because that's the soft spot that they're looking for. But not only that, this is the second time that the EDI Institute has been targeted. Because first we saw it in February, that how at least 3 terrorists have stormed into that institute, and once again it's made it to the terror top list. Can you also give us details of whether there were security arrangements done at this institute after the latest intel alert?
Divna, basically we have seen the tactics of the militants. Mainly the militants in such kinds of attacks carry these attacks into the number ranging from 3 to 5. That number of militants is believed also involved in this attempt for the attack. But So far, nothing is clear. As we have seen, there is no any exchange of fire for last 2 to 3 hours. It was the first fire what was heard by the security forces was at about 6 a.m. Since 6 a.m. there is not any exchange of fire, but we are seeing the presence of security forces, the presence of army, the presence of police is being increased in the area, and we have just seen that the columns of army have left from all the sides of this EDI complex, and they are taking up the searches in the area. So far, no contact. Contact means when there is exchange of fire, that means the encounter started, but so far the encounter has not started. Still, it is yet to be traced where the militants actually are hiding. But as for the presence of security forces, as per the movement of security forces, it is sure that there is some suspicious movement inside the enforcement directorate complex. There are so many buildings. One was destroyed 2 months back in the terror attack. Now there is another building, then some official quarters. Any place might have been taken as shelter by the militants. But one important thing here, that today each and every step is being taken by the security forces very precautionary. We have last time seen 2 para captains lost their lives in the previous terror attack, and that is why today the security forces did not want to take any misadvantage here, did not want to take any kind of risk. So that is why the area of cordon is being extended, and the searches are going on in the area.
Well, latest update that is coming in is that security has been stepped up in the capital, in the parliament as well. Security has been beefed up after Uri attack. According to sources, parliament has always been a high value target, and thorough checks are now regularly being conducted inside the premises of the parliament, including access points. My colleague Brijesh joining us on this story. Brijesh, what are the inputs that you're getting on security heightened at the parliament?
Well, Davina, I think, the parliament has always been the sanctum sanctorum of Indian democracy and has always been a place of high value target as far as terrorism is concerned. It has security been breached once. We were lucky that, not enough mayhem could have been caused. But keeping that in mind, and especially after the surgical strike and Uri attack, Uri terror attack, which was carried out, there has been an increased surveillance as far as the security of parliament is concerned. Research and Analysis Wing, Intelligence Bureau, apart from various other specified agencies, are in constant coordination with the watch and ward staff of parliament. Apart from CRPF, which is positioned inside the parliament, anti-sabotage checks are being conducted at regular levels. Also, surprise checks are conducted to make sure that, that the security within the parliament is not lax or is not up to the mark. So around the clock, vigilance has been stepped up to make sure that no untoward incident takes place.
All right, Brijesh, thanks for joining us with that story, keeping a close eye on the latest development that is coming from the capital, but also at Pampore, where right now the encounter is underway. 2 terrorists still hold up inside the EDI Institute. We have my colleague Shuja, who is getting us the latest update. Shuja, underway, we're not giving out the security operations, but if you can tell us that 2 terrorists is the report that is coming in, who are holed up inside the institute. From where did they enter the institute? And did they also seem to have a similar modus operandi to inflict the maximum damage? Did they start open firing at the security guards at the institute the moment they entered?
Well, Divina, so far here is what we know. At around 6, there was fire that was reported from one of the buildings of the EDI. The EDI is the Entrepreneur Development Institute. Divina, before I tell you, I would like to show you these visuals. This is the national highway that connects Srinagar with Jammu, and a lot of traffic applies on this road, particularly the convoys and the vehicles of security forces, and they quite often come under militant attacks like these. The location of this building is very, very important because it is situated bang on this national highway. Last time around, the militants had first attacked the patrol and then ran away and had hidden in one of the buildings of the EDI, and it had taken 3 days for that operation to complete. That is the ground reality. As far as this particular operation is concerned, like I was pointing out first, the fire was reported from one of the buildings. It's not really known how that building caught fire, but when security forces tried to go near that building, then they were fired upon by the suspected militants, and it is in that fire that one army jawan sustained injuries. Later on, more troops were brought in, and now what we are learning is that they are inching towards one of the rear side buildings of this institute, and they are preparing for a massive search operation. Let's remember, it's not going to be easy because these buildings are huge. They are concrete structures. They have several rooms, so to speak. That makes the intervention all the more difficult, and that was one of the reasons which because of which that the operation in February had taken 3 days. And also remember, the operation back then had caused massive damage both to the property and the life. Many security forces personnel had gotten injured and killed in that operation. Let's we're waiting for the officials to tell us more, but at this point of time only cordon and search has been seen around these buildings of this complex. The authorities are saying that they suspect 2 militants are there. They are not taking anything to chance. They're not in any hurry, so they are inching towards these buildings, and then from a moment from now they'll perhaps carry out that room to room intervention in the target building.
Okay. All right, Shujam, be with us. We have to take a very short break, but this is an important information that is coming in that right now terrorists are still holed up in the EDI Institute, and the possible target could have been the Jammu-Srinagar highway, which according to reports that are suggesting it's about 20 kilometers from Srinagar, this institute coming under attack for the second time. But this time round, at least there were no civilians, no students or teachers in the institute. But talking more about that, taking a short break, coming right back.